All right, y'all. It is the Legally Blind Journal number 62. And my Boston has decided that he needs to help me out with this one. He wouldn't take no for an answer, so, my boy. At any rate, so I guess you're my what is it, co-host? Yeah, you're my co-host today. Thank you for joining us today, Mr. Boston. Well, what's been going on? So basically, been struggling with more and more of the headaches over the last couple of months, obviously, and measured my vision, and it's I would call it a soft 9 inches for the reading, if the letters are yay big. But even then, a little concerning changes is the used to be if I got in closer, 8.5, 8, or I pulled back, 9.5, 10, whatever it is, it would be not clear, but decent. And what I'm finding is that there isn't a decent. At 9, when I say 9, it's 9 is if I'm straining. It comes and goes. I'll be able to read it for a second and then not read it for a second, not read it. But getting closer or pulling back doesn't fix it. Whereas before, I could get it to where I could make it out. So that's obviously concerning. My peripheral is still holding kind of steady. I will say that compared it to a couple of relatives and whatnot, and really, no pun intended, opened up the eyes as to how little peripheral I really have compared to someone else, and opened their eyes too, quite frankly. So, at any rate, pretty much the running the tractor, dropping post, and as long as I'm not reading a tape measure, being stupid, either don't have headaches on those days or they're pretty light and manageable. Anything to where I try and read is it's really not helpful to me. Stores and things are still a pretty big struggle, so I try and stay out of those just because my eyes keep trying to focus. I've gotten a lot better at just keeping my eyes closed while we're driving. That's helped a ton while we're driving down the road. Avoid the heavy headaches to migraines. Still trying to find the right mix and balance for my Monday to Friday, and it's I haven't found it yet. I'll say that. Trying to mix up the breaks and the time, and it's a little more manageable, but it's still pretty rough. Just anything I gotta do where I gotta use my eyes to read is pretty tough. Walking around the farm looking at the chickens doesn't seem to really trigger it. But then again, I'm not trying to read them. I'm okay with them being like little colored blobs running around. I don't try and focus in too hard on it, and that's probably the difference. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep trying different things with that. I don't know what the answer is, but I do know that you got to keep trying and to find new ways to do old things, and that's what we're gonna keep doing. So just keeping a positive attitude, and letting Mr. Smokey help me out. He's so good, y'all. When we go out to feed animals or whatever, he walks normally pretty close to me. He looks up at me to try and get his cues, which he never used to do. He's definitely well aware that I something's wrong. I think he knows I'm blind, but I really do. And he doesn't, he watches out for me. I'll put it that way. And he doesn't trip me and things like that. Our older dog, Trouble, he's about 14, 15 years old. He's a puggle. I think he's going deaf. He's got cataracts, and so he and I trip over each other and stuff. But Mr. Smokey, he does a good job of taking care of me. So he goes out and walks me out to the chicken coop and stuff like that. And so I'll say that dogs are smart, man. Dogs are real smart. A lot of work, but they're real smart. And I'm not really up for a guide dog at this point because I can still see enough to get around the farm and stuff like that. And a guide dog, you got to work them every day, and um, they're awesome help to the blind. I mean, they're phenomenal. I've had a little tiny bit of experience with them, but it was great. But for the amount of work you got to do with them, to be fair to them, and also to make sure they can help you, it's for me, it's not worth it at this point. Just try not to leave the farm too often, and things are okay. But I am trying to work through this whole headache, migraine, strain issue. There's days where, it definitely is having an impact on them. So I got to figure that out. But at any rate, best thing I can tell you is keep a smile on, keep positive, and keep trucking, y'all. Y'all be good out there. Peace.